Jai Gurudev. I hope you did your homework last week. In Sikhi Dhwaja and Kumbha's story, we have come to the point where Sikhi Dhwaja is at the verge of enlightenment. He has attained it all. He has reached that stage where there are no more questions. So let's see how the story progresses from page 323. Kumbha said, I hope that you have been inwardly awakened spiritually and that you know what is there to be known and see what there is to be seen. Sikhidhwaja replied, Indeed, Lord, by your grace I have seen the supreme state. How was it that it eluded my understanding so far? We also feel that we have been traveling on this spiritual path for such a long time. It's been a very long journey. And how is it that now, after such a long time, that I realize this thing, or I realize that point, that which I have been listening to for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, how now it has become clear? Why does it elude my understanding? So he also has a similar question. This question keeps coming to you throughout this journey at different stages when you experience different levels of truth. This question keeps coming back to you. You may wonder that now it has come and this is it. I have attained the truth that I needed to attain. But no, it reveals itself in rationing. Rationing of knowledge happens. It does not come all at once. It comes in small rations to you. So, we might have not reached where Sikhidhwaja has reached, but we have experienced the same question that Sikhidhwaja is asking right now. So let's listen to the answer. For him, it is probably the last time such a question comes up. For us, we may have some more time to go, but the answer is pertinent to us even now. Only when the mind is utterly quiet, when one has completely abandoned all desire for pleasure, and when the senses have also been rid of their coloring or covering, are the words of the preceptor rightly comprehended. The Guru is not seeing something different. The teacher is not seeing something different every time. It is my listening that is different. What does that mean? Today I am in a particular perceptive state of mind. I might have not been like that earlier when I heard the saying jnana. So what are the reasons for that? One, abandoning all desire for pleasure. You might have not abandoned all desire for pleasure completely and totally all the time, but for a little while. Say for this moment, right now there is no desire for any pleasure in the mind. The mind is completely in the here and now. No past, no future. So it's a glimpse of that state of mind where all my desires can be abandoned. I'm not there yet, but right now I am in that pure state of mind. And this is the state of mind that is conducive for knowledge absorption or jnana absorption, or not just absorption but realization, recognition of that jnana as my own experience rather than an intellectual understanding. Second is when the senses have been rid of their coloring or covering. All the time the senses are colored by some or the other conditioning. I hear something, even before I really hear it, my mind has heard something before on the same lines, so it pulls up that conditioning from the memory, that coloring, and patches it up on this. I don't listen to what is coming to me in its purity. Do you see this? This also depends on the state of your mind. If you're too much in a hurry, you will not listen to what Ekta is saying. You will listen to what your memory is pulling up from the memory box. Yeah, that is called coloring of the senses. So when these two conditions are met, all desires abandoned, and you're not pulling up any past coloring or mental conditioning, then you have opened the doors for rightly comprehending the knowledge from the teacher, master, guru, preceptor. Yeah. The previous efforts were not wasted. Okay? Don't think that all those efforts where my mind was colored or where there were lots of desires are wasted. No. Why? Because the various efforts made so far have attained fruition today, and the impurities in the bodies have dropped away. So all these efforts that I have been making in the past and failing and stumbling are actually a building block. I am climbing up. They are helping me go up. Yeah, just like you learn to walk as a little baby. You started walking, you stumbled, you fell down, but again you stood up. Now I learned from the first falling down how not to stand, what made me fall. Right? In the previous fall, what made me fall? Maybe I did not balance my foot correctly on the center. Maybe I was a little, tipping over the right side or tipping over the left side. Then I learned to stand totally on the foot with complete pressure on the center. And then I realized, this is the right way. Maybe I stumbled again because I took maybe the sofa for granted, and then I learned, this much pressure on the sofa or this much pressure on the floor. And then I learned step by step how to walk, correct? So my efforts did not go waste. My n number of times that I fail, I fall down, I stumble, are not a waste. So in life, if we fail, we fall down, we are unsuccessful in what we want to do. It's not a failure. It's not all wasted effort. Yeah? It helps you to learn in which direction to walk, what is the right thing to do, and what is that which is not to be done. Yeah? When thus one is freed from psychological conditioning and the impurities have been removed or purified, the words of the Guru enter directly into the innermost core of one's being, just as an arrow enters the stalk of the lotus. Yeah. All impurities fade away only after recognizing these are impurities. The recognition of these are impurities is the entire spiritual journey. And it takes a long time to get there. And no worries. We will all get there. We have different speeds, but we will all get there. Yeah? Keep walking. You have attained that state of purity, and therefore you have been enlightened by my discourse, and your ignorance has been dispelled. So Kumbha is saying this to Sikhidwaja because Sikhidwaja has finally reached that stage of final enlightenment. By our satsanga, holy company, your karma, which is actions and their residual impressions, have been destroyed. Till this very forenoon, you were filled with the false notions of I and mine on account of ignorance. Now that on account of the light of my words, the mind has been abandoned from your heart, you have been awakened fully. So what helps you awaken fully? When I and mine drops away. Yeah? Very clear she is. Till this very forenoon, you were filled with the false notions of I and mine on account of ignorance. Now that on account of the light of my words, the mind has been abandoned from your heart, you have been awakened fully. Very, very clear. Mind getting abandoned from the heart is equal to full awakening. Why? For ignorance lasts only so long as the mind functions in your heart. Now you are enlightened, liberated. Remain established in the infinite consciousness, freed from sorrow, from striving, and from all attachment. That means you have to reach a stage of no mind, become mindless. Yeah. Usually when we want to condemn somebody, put somebody down for saying something less intelligent, we say, you are being mindless, or where is your mind? But it is a good thing. That is the stage of the fully liberated one, where he has no mind. And the one who is ignorant, his mind is established in his heart. Yeah? Now, which heart? It's not the physical heart we are talking about. And it's not even that the mind is a separate entity which is sitting in the subtle body's heart. It's not even like that. It's just the conditioning, ignorance. Ignorance was coloring your true nature. And your true nature is that causal body which is sitting in the heart of the subtle body. Yeah? And that was being colored by all your mental conditioning. And once the coloring falls off, the mind has fallen off from the heart. Sikhidwaja said, Lord, is there a mind even for the liberated person? How does he live and function here without a mind? Kumbha replied, truly there is no mind in the liberated ones. What is mind? The psychological conditioning or limitation which is dense and which leads to rebirth is known as mind. Yeah? What is mind? Psychological conditioning. Very, very clear here. Psychological conditioning means I collect impressions from whatever I see, I touch, I taste, I hear, I smell. All these impressions I collect, and that bag of collected impressions is the mind. Is from where I think. I always think only that which I know. I cannot think about that which I don't know. Where does that which I know reside? In this little bag, my memory, my past impressions. That itself is the mind. I come up with logic. Where did I come up with that logic from? From this bag of impressions, from my past experiences. Not just experiences of this lifetime. I'm collecting experiences from n number of previous lifetimes, and I've collected all that logic and stored it. Yeah, it's like all the data that has been stored in this cloud. Yeah, and now this cloud needs to be destroyed, completely eradicated, deleted. Yeah? Your cloud has become bugged, or if there is a possibility of a virus or whatever, corrupted. Yeah? All your files are corrupted now, and they're corrupted by the mental conditioning. All need to be deleted, all need to be eradicated. Once you are free of all mental conditioning, you reach a higher mind or the state of no mind. The liberated person has no mind. The liberated sages live with the help of the mind which is free from conditioning and which does not cause rebirth. Yeah, because it has no impressions. Only an impression leads to rebirth. The potentiality or the ability to create impressions drops away, because all these impressions are created by my super emotional reactions. No, he's become totally non-reactive, he's become totally equanimous. So there is no more karma creation or impression creation. So there is no more rebirth. It is not mind at all, but pure light or sattva. The liberated ones live and function here, established in this sattva, not in the mind. The ignorant and inert mind is mind. The enlightened mind is known as sattva. The ignorant live in their mind. The enlightened ones live in sattva. Homework for you. How far away are you from sattva? Are you very, very close? Are you very, very far away? Yeah. Work towards dropping the mind and moving towards just being sattva. Yeah. Let's move on to page 324. You have attained the state of sattva, the unconditioned mind, on account of your supreme renunciation. The conditioned mind has been totally renounced. Of this I am convinced. Your mind has become like pure infinite space. You have reached the state of complete equilibrium, which is the state of perfection. This is the total renunciation in which everything is abandoned without residue. Yeah, this is beautiful to know that there is a possibility for me to get there. I may not be there today, but I can get there where I am in complete sattva, where there is no mental conditioning, where there is complete renunciation, there is no desires, nothing that I want to do, nothing that I don't want to do. There is nothing that I want to achieve, nothing that I want to run behind. I have reached that stage of just being with what is. That is the state of sattva. It is like pure infinite space. Yeah? It is a state of complete equilibrium. It is a state of perfection. And this is the total renunciation in which everything is abandoned without residue. Here, without residue is very important, because we want to say, okay, I will abandon all these desires, but I will keep this one thing, or my family, or my phone, or my knowledge, my guru. This is also residue. Everything, abandoning everything. No I, no mine, Nothing. Yeah? No I, no mine. We all have the potentiality to get there. All that we need is renunciation, dropping all desires. All means all. What sort of happiness, destruction of sorrow, does one gain through these austerities? Supreme and unending happiness is attained only through utter equanimity. What sort of happiness is that which is gained in heaven? He who has not attained self-knowledge tries to snatch a little pleasure through the performance of some rituals. One who does not have gold clings to copper. Yeah? So rituals, austerities, craving to be in heaven, all these are small little pleasures. Yeah? Only the one who does not have knowledge runs after rituals. Only the one who does not have a little bit also of jnana or self-realization runs behind austerities. Let me do this kriya, that pranayam, that puja, that prarthana, that prayer, that little ritual, that little thing. Once you have self-knowledge, self-realization, all this drops away. All this seems petty. The only thing that can get you to happiness is what? Utter equanimity. Highlight that. Supreme and unending happiness is attained only through utter equanimity. Yeah. One who does not have gold clings to copper. And it's fine. It's fine for beginners, for those who don't have the gold. But once you have achieved this goal of self-realization, don't give it up for anything. It is gold. Yeah? Don't give it up for copper. O royal sage, you could easily have become wise with the help of Kudala. Why did you have to indulge in this useless and meaningless austerity? What does she mean by the austerity? That he abandoned his kingdom, came to the jungle, started doing his version of pranayam, kriya, yoga, this tapas, that penance, this meditation, renounced everything, was probably starving and just living on water and little bit of fruits that he got in the jungle. So all these austerities, all this penance, tapas, she's saying was useless. You didn't have to do this. Self-realization is it. And with the help of Kudala, which is your wife, you could have reached there. Yeah, Kumbha is saying this. Kumbha is nobody else but Kudala, but in the disguise of a sage, a Brahman. It has a beginning and an end, and in the middle there is an appearance of happiness. Yeah? So all these austerities have a beginning and an end, and in the middle there is just a little appearance of happiness. However, your austerity has in a way led to this spiritual awakening. Now remain rooted in wisdom. Though she says it is useless, at the same time she says, okay, it was a stepping stone for you to reach here. But now that you have reached here, now remain rooted in this. You drop everything else. This is the hardest path on the spiritual path for most of us, where we tend to hold on to that which has helped us progress. Mom and dad taught you how to ride a bicycle. Yeah, they were holding you from behind. You had to let go of mom and dad to learn to balance that bicycle. Correct? So you have to let go of that which helped you move ahead. Slowly from a bicycle, you probably came to a bike. Yeah, then you had to let go of the bicycle even. So what I want to say here is that learn to let go. This is a very, very difficult thing on the path. We need to make the spiritual path as stepping stones. You don't hold on to the stone. How will you go up? You have to let go of certain stones. So like that only, sometimes we have to let go of our previous satsanga. We have to let go of our previous practices. They helped us reach here. They helped me become who I am today. But now I have to get rooted in this. For that, I have to let that go. You know what I'm saying? This is the tough part. Yeah? When I say you have to let that go, we let go of rituals slowly, slowly. We let go of austerity slowly, slowly. But the people around us cannot digest it and think, you have changed. Millie, you're not the same person. But Millie does not feel like sitting and doing that ritual that she used to do before. And that's absolutely fine. It helped you get to where you are. Once you understand the importance of becoming established in today's self-realization, yesterday's stepping stone must be dropped. And what do I mean by that? I mean that yesterday's stepping stone could also be Ekta. A point will come where you will have to let go of Ekta's hand. A point will come on this path where you will have to let go of the Guru's hand too. This is the hardest part for us to accept. A Guru starts helping you from the base of the mountain and takes you up to the point where you are very close to the peak. And you can climb up to the peak only with the help of a harness. He will tell you, you throw the harness up like this, you anchor it like this, you tie it to yourself. But that last part, going uphill to the peak, you must do that alone. Because only you can carry your own weight. You see what I'm saying? At that last point of the journey where you are about to touch the peak, you will have to let go of all scriptures, all rituals, all teachers, including Ekta, even the Guru. And the time will tell you that this is the time where you have to climb that peak and you can climb it alone only. Samadhi can only be entered alone. A Guru can describe Samadhi for you. A Guru can devise a technique for you. But you will have to go into that silence on your own. You will have to go into the core of your being and get established on your own. A Guru cannot enter inside and show you that path inside. That path inside is dark. Only you can walk it, and you must walk alone. Prem gali ati sakari, tame dauna samai. The path of divine love is very, very narrow. In that, two cannot be accommodated. Even the Guru cannot be accommodated. Even the teacher, the master cannot be accommodated. You must walk alone. Do you see what I'm saying? One who does not have gold clings to copper. You will know when the time comes. You will know when it is time to drop the copper and just be with the gold. Yeah. It is in the infinite consciousness that all these realities and even the unreal notions arise, and into it they dissolve. Even ideas like this is to be done and this is not to be done are droplets of this infinite consciousness. Abandon even those and rest in the unconditioned. So, homework number 3, I guess. Do you have these concepts? So, this needs to be done on the spiritual path and this does not need to be done. We have these in the external world anyways, but even related to meditations, we have these concepts. This should be done in this way only, and this should be done not like this. We get stuck in this do's and don'ts. When you get stuck in do's and don'ts, you will not progress. You'll create a barrier for you. There is no law how to walk in that darkness within. There is no set path how to get into samadhi. And when you are in the samadhi, how to maneuver. There is no set path. You cannot say this is the do's and these are the don'ts. No. Do's and don'ts do not exist on that path of samadhi. Yeah? So drop these do's and don'ts. It is very simple. Just be. That's why Kabir said, Sadho sahaj samadhi bhali. What is sahaj samadhi? No concepts, no ideas, no conditions, no technique, no this way and no that way. Just being in that. Sahaj, simple, natural. Being with what is. Whatever is, is. Being with the truth of this moment. Sahaj samadhi. Sadho sahaj samadhi bhali. No mantra, no word, no sound, no people, no concepts, no techniques, not even the breath, nothing. Just being with the truth of this moment. You can start with the breath because the breath is the truth of this moment. You can start with the body because the body is the truth of this moment. But just be there. Simple, natural. Yeah, with the truth of the moment, not manipulating the truth, not creating a different kind of a breath, not creating a different kind of sensation in the body, not trying to do something or not trying to do something, being with what is right now. And what is here is different from what is there. Is different from what is there, is different from what is there. Everybody's truth of the moment is different. And just being with the truth of that moment, being with your own truth is Sahaj Samadhi. Sadhu Sahaj Samadhi Bhali. Abandon even these and rest in the unconditioned. This is to be done, this is not to be done. All these austerity, etc. are indirect methods. Why should one not adopt the direct method of self-knowledge? Got it? If you are the Gyan Yogi type, then self-knowledge is your way. Drop everything else and Gyan Yoga will get you there. Self-realization will get you there. That that which has been described as sattva should be renounced by the sattva itself. This is revolutionary, huh? Sattva is that pure mind, but that pure mind also needs to be dropped, because there also I can develop ego. Oh, see, I am in sattva. I have a sattva mind. Oh, I have a sattva, I don't have a mind. Yeah, that I can come up even there. Then it's no more sattva. So he says that the sattva should be renounced by the sattva itself. That is, by total freedom from it or by non-attachment to it. Whatever sorrow arises in the three worlds, O king, arises only from mental craving. If you are established in that state of equanimity, which treats of both movement and non-movement of thought as non-different, you will rest in the eternal. Whatever sorrow arises in the three worlds arises from mental craving. Have you reached that stage where you understand that every sorrow has arisen from mental craving in your past? This is your next homework. Check, look back into the past. Whatever sorrow has arisen, whatever, it is only because of my own mental craving. If you are established in that state of equanimity, which treats of both movement and non-movement of thought as non-different, you will rest in the eternal. Movement of thought and non-movement of thought is the same, is non-different. We struggle, no, oh, I should not think, oh, there are too many thoughts in meditation. We are struggling to achieve a state of non-movement of thought. No equanimity. Yeah. And anyway, you're tired of your movements of thoughts. So, this struggle of movement of thought, oh, I'm craving for non-movement of thought. This struggle takes you away from equanimity. What is equanimity? Doesn't matter. There is movement of thought, doesn't matter. There is non-movement of thought, doesn't matter. Being equanimous is the only yardstick to measure your spiritual progress. There is no other yardstick. Experiencing this in meditation, that in meditation, your past life, this light, that blue color, or bodilessness, no use. Absolutely no use. These are momentary experiences. These do not mean anything. They come and they go. The mind that is equanimous with them coming and going, that mind has achieved the highest. Are you seeing what I'm saying? Utter equanimity is the only way. There is only one infinite consciousness. The Brahman, which is pure consciousness, is itself known as Sattva. The ignorant see it as the world. Movement, agitation, as also non-movement, in the infinite consciousness are only notions in the mind of the spectator. The totality of the infinite consciousness is all these but devoid of such notions. Its reality is beyond words. This one paragraph does not do justice to it. The infinite consciousness cannot be described. We just make a little attempt here, a little attempt there to describe it in words, to help the seeker understand who he really is. Once you reach there, there is no looking back. There are no more desires. There is complete equanimity automatically. It does not have to be cultivated. It just has to be recognized. All you need to recognize is the futility of this samsara. Till the time you don't recognize the futility of the samsara, there will still be mental craving lurking in the background, in the deepest corners of your mind. Till the time there is mental craving, you will not be able to reach that stage of complete equanimity. Equanimity can only be attained by the dropping away of craving. And then only can this pure consciousness or sattva be experienced. Yeah. Whenever we talk about rajas, tamas, sattva, we explain that the perfect balance of rajas and tamas is sattva. In reality, the non-existence of it all is sattva. But it is so difficult to understand the non-existence of it all. You know? This is the real meaning of sattva. Last homework for the day. If you really have to strive for something, strive for sattva. Strive for that state of complete annihilation of the mind, complete eradication of the mind, the state of no mind. And when somebody calls you mindless, that will be a compliment, the real compliment. Vasistha continued, having said this, Kumbha vanished from sight even while the king was about to offer flowers in adoration. Reflecting over the words of Kumbha, Sikhidwaja entered into deep meditation, completely free from all desires and cravings and firmly established in the unconditioned state. Yeah, we'll continue next week with page 325. Until then, keep doing your homework, and if you have any questions, you can send them to me via email or text or WhatsApp. Just a click away. Jai Gurudev.